As Christians, we believe that the core teachings of Christianity bring help and hope to individuals to navigate the complex issues of life. But not only for individuals, we believe that legislators, educators, people in business, leaders in society can all benefit from a Christian perspective. Each week, our producers and hosts look deeply into the topics at hand, and they are looking for life beyond the headlines. They are also looking to produce a bridge to Christ through our content. They look deeply into the matters at hand and try and show evidence of God at work.
Up on blues.
3.
And let's roll red.
3.
We're talking about gratitude with you because you're a follower of Jesus. And one of the commands of the followers of Jesus is to give thanks in everything. How has your relationship with God been affected through that tension?
About 2 days after the flood, I had one of my best friends call me from Colorado, and she said, "This is God's goodness for you and for High River." And I mean, that felt like a really hard pill to swallow, but that line, that statement, has been rotating in my mind for over a year, and I can tell you with 100% confidence that it has been. It's been the best thing for my marriage, for my kids, and for physically for our house. It's incredible.
You've had a runaway. You've had anorexia. You've had fears of teen suicide. How do we shape healthy family when life is complicated?
Well, I think for one, you tell the story that there's a good God at the center of things and things are broken, so let's not be surprised about that. Let's not be horrified at brokenness. Like, that shouldn't surprise any of us. So when that happens, let's absorb it together because we do love one another, right? Rather than look for cause and stuff that's beyond us.
Some of the issues that we tackle here on Context and some of the things I'm proud that we could lead on was bringing back into focus the issue of missing Indigenous and murdered women and young girls.
Our women did not choose a high-risk lifestyle. There were not little girls who were wanting to grow up and be homeless. They are born high risk in Canada because of that history of colonization, because of the broken treaties, because of residential schools and child welfare agencies, and communities without proper housing.
You know, when you turn on the screen, there's a lot of coverage, a lot of news coverage, but not a lot of solutions. Well, we don't just cover it all, we do our best to give solutions to it all.
I produced our first episode for this, our 4th season, an episode on Iraq and Syria and the refugee crisis there. In many cases, people were being targeted simply because they were Christians.
They tell them in 24 hours they have a choices to convert to Islam or to pay the ransom, or they have to leave everything or face death.
Lorna's vision was to issue an invitation for Canadians, for our viewers, to get involved in refugee sponsorship, to investigate how they could make a difference in the lives of these families who've lost so much. A beautiful thing that came out of this episode was that over 50 people made inquiries into how they could get involved in sponsoring a refugee family and bringing them to Canada to begin a new life.
So on the day of the Supreme Court ruling on doctor-assisted suicide, we actually had a video ready to be released called Marg's Story, which is about Lorna's sister-in-law who suffers from multiple systems atrophy.
Margaret's vocal cords, like the rest of her muscles, are paralyzed by multiple system atrophy. She can no longer speak, but she has a story to tell.
And that was a really personal story that showed a different side of the doctor-assisted suicide debate that not a lot of people get to see on the media in general. So that actually saw a lot of success online. There were 10,000 views in just the first couple of days of that releasing, and it performed extremely well because I think it really connected with people, and it showed a different side of the debate that you don't get to hear very often.
A show like Context is important to have on the air because not only is it cutting edge, entertaining, but we're also covering and leading on the stories and issues that matter to you the most.
What do you say to somebody who's still stuck?
There's hope. No matter what, there's people out there that love you, and when you don't think that you're lovable, or anyone could love you, there are people.
A show like Context can only happen with your support. We need your dollars to continue to tell stories from a Christian perspective.
If you're not already a Context Insider, you need to sign up today to become one, and you'll find out how to do that on this website. And if you've already been hanging around Context for a while, I want to ask you to become a donor today. Context is supported by private donors just like you and I. We need your help to continue to put this Christian voice, this Christian story, on air on a regular basis. So thank you for your interest in Context, and we welcome you to be an insider and a donor.